Well, it's the day after the solstice. By the time you see it, it'll be several days after the solstice, but right now we're in the middle of a full moon cycle. Evidently, it happens every 19, 20 years where the solstice is a day or two apart from the full moon. And it's been quite beautiful. We had the longest day of the year and then followed by this huge moon coming up. It wasn't 100% full last night, but it was full enough. Tonight it's going to be fully full. I've been trying to do this video for a week, a solstice video. I had all these different topics I was going to talk about. Each time I hated the direction the video was going, delete. Finally, solstice, sitting here in the afternoon, beautiful day, was no sun here on the porch at that moment, and I sat down to do a solstice chat again, and PG&E came and started trimming trees for the fire hazard remediation. So at that point, it was like the universe has spoken. There is not going to be a video before the solstice. It's been crazy. So we are enjoying a heat wave, but not a horrendous heat wave, at least not yet. It's been hot, but not devilishly hot. Let's put it that way. We've had a lot of fires in the state, and that has been not so good. On Father's Day, a big fire started in Healdsburg, which is part of the wine country. If you are familiar with Sonoma County and the wine country, it's over there to the west of me, right over the mountains. And that was awful. There were some losses, not of life, thank God, but structures and homes. They did everything they could, but the fire must have just been explosive. And later the same day, another fire erupted to the east of this county, and that was in Williams on near Highway 5, near Williams. Huge fire that was harder to get under control, and I don't think there was any loss of structures, maybe a little bit, but it's very agricultural there, and there's a lot of open space, so perhaps that vegetation fire just was, just did that. And then a day or two before the solstice, we had 4 fires in this county within an hour and a half. I have an app called Watch Duty, which is the only app I get notifications on. I get notifications if the phone rings, and I get notifications if Watch Duty goes off. And Watch Duty is a fire app, and it was developed actually in this county. And every time a fire starts, they put it on the app. Now, it's not every single fire that goes on because the app is the entire western United States, but you can opt in to areas you want to be informed on, so I opted into my county. So within about, I think, less than 2 hours, there were 4 vegetation fires, all within north of here. And that was terrifying. The thing goes off when there's a fire, then it goes off if there's evacuation and if there's any important updates. So that 3 of them, 2 were calmed down pretty quick, vegetation fires. 1 went on for quite a while, but that was an area that didn't seem to be real populated, so it did spread. But there was another one right in town, not in my town, but a little northeast. I know that town, and they actually ended up with evacuation orders. It's right on the main road. So fortunately no homes were lost, and everything got resolved. But during the period of time when there were all these fires going off, you could also hear planes, these tanker planes coming into the county to help assist. And that's kind of a terrifying sound because you know what they are. Even though they're coming to help, you know what they are. But I think over all the years of these fires, sometimes they do get a little out of control. They have learned so much. I mean, even in the 6 years I've been here, I've seen a huge leap in notification systems, in the speed of which different counties get involved, different states get involved, and the speed in which fires are brought under control and how structures are saved. Obviously, doesn't work out every time, but it works out enough times that I've just seen a huge leap. So that has been heavy on my mind. I did have my area here all mowed. I'm going to do a little video on that. I found a very good landscaper. It's a woman-owned business, and she's a landscaper, and she has a team. One of her team is actually her husband, and so she gave me a phenomenal price. They got everything done in one morning. 2 guys, 10 man hours, 5 and 5. I have a half an acre. Everything's taken care of. So I'm really delighted with that, and I feel a little safer, even though I'm surrounded by forest. There's a forest right next door, like right there. It's a big forest. It belonged to somebody at one point, and the guy died, and nobody's come to look at it since. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a strange barking sound. I think it's foxes. I actually videoed it last night. I'll put it up. I think it's foxes, but there's this really hoarse bark. And last night they were real close to my bedroom. I heard them. They were like in the back here. Anyway, so everything's mopped up here and cleaned up and cut down. And I've talked to her. I want her to come back, and I want to do a consult with her. I have an area which is fed by springs, and the springs just ooze out of the ground, and I really would like to turn that into kind of a food forest with berries and trees, whatever would grow appropriately here. I do grow vegetables here, but I find that not all of them grow well. My tomatoes are not thriving. Squash grows well here, all different types. Cucumbers grow well, herbs grow well. Some things do not. My eggplant is not growing well. Tomatoes aren't growing well, peppers aren't growing well. I think even though they're in the sun, I still have a sun problem. I'm in a little valley here, and then the house is even lower. So we just don't get enough sun. It comes up, but it has to go over the hill, and I know that just a mile away they're getting sun a lot earlier than I am. So I don't think we're getting the hours. So, okay, I'm willing to cut my losses with certain things, but I'd like to find other things that do work. And if I can get like a food forest, perennial type food forest with berries and maybe some trees that are compatible fruit trees, then, we'll see. I still have a lot of potatoes. My potato patch is doing well out there, but I have more potatoes, so I might dig some in over there until I can talk to her and get some more potatoes. Potatoes grow well here too. So it's been a hard year. The solstice is like the winter solstice. I kind of look at the whole year from winter solstice to winter solstice and what has happened and what has developed. And I had some thoughts on that when I talked about the winter solstice during the winter. And this year, summer solstice, it's kind of a taking stock of what has happened up to the summer solstice and where we're going with that. And it's been a hard year. Like I say, not everything ends up on YouTube, and that's okay. I like to keep things positive. But I've had a lot of challenges here that I did not expect and that I can't do anything about and are not my doing. They're not anyone's doing. It just happened. So that has kind of perturbed me, and it's gotten to the point where I go through this. I got upset at the house and things that were happening here, and I like to go like on realtor.com or on Zillow, and I just want to see what else is out there in case I decide to leave. It's kind of like going on a dating site when your marriage is going downhill. So I went on those. I saw what houses cost nowadays. I saw what I could get for twice as much as what I paid for this, and by the end of the day, I was sitting out here on the porch. It was really beautiful, and I thought I really like it here, so I've just got to make it work. I have to make it work with all the issues that come up. They always say country life is simple and inexpensive. It is not simple, and it is not inexpensive. I'm going to do a video on that at some point, because there's, I think, some mythologies about living the way I do, and I think it's maybe time to dispel them. It's not all, rainbows and sunshine and picking your own vegetables and living this amazing life. It is amazing, but there's a lot more to it. So, summer solstice, the day was hazy all day because of the residual smoke. And I always try to, sometimes I think about, well, what am I going to do for solstice? Maybe I'm going to write, maybe I'm going to read certain things, maybe I don't know. I let it unwind itself. So as it turns out, a friend of mine called, and they called from, they're another part of the United States, so there's a, several hour time difference, and we had just the greatest conversation. I sat out here on the porch until the sun was down, and I don't know what time it was at his house, but it was late. And we just talked and we just talked and we laughed and we talked. And I told him at the end of the conversation that I could not imagine spending the solstice with anyone else in any other way but this beautiful conversation. And, it makes me think about all the things I'm grateful for. Oh my God, I have a very good life. I'm very lucky. Nothing I've done here or achieved here is because I'm especially smart or because I'm especially capable or because I work especially hard, because there's plenty of people who are smart and work hard and do all the right things and do not have a life of luck that I do. So I am very grateful for the great fortune I have in my life. Very, very appreciative. So, when I finished talking to my friend, it made me realize, how lucky I was to have friends like that, and that all you really need, they say all you really need in your life is love, and it's true. If you have people who love you and people that you love back, every other issue, no matter how vexing, somehow diminishes a little bit, because there's like a support system, an emotional support system. So that was my takeaway for the solstice. And after we hung up, I made myself a cup of a hot drink, my favorite mocha cappuccino with some chocolate in it. And yes, I was awake half the night after that, but it was just so pleasant to sit out here and drink it. It was dark. It was dark for a little while, then the moon started to rise, it was light again. So that was kind of interesting, and it just was pleasant. And I thought, just stop complaining. You can handle all of it. You don't want to, but you can. So that was my lesson, I guess from the solstice. And certain things are in motion right now that I am confident that by the time the winter solstice rolls around, things will be better. Yes, they will. Anyway, I hope your solstice was good. I hope your week was good. I hope your month is good. And I hope the rest of the year is wonderful for you, that the solstice is just the beginning of something good, the end of something troubling and the beginning of something good. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for watching.